CNN. Gaza is becoming graveyard for children. United Nations chief said on Monday. As death toll rose and calls grew worldwide for a ceasefire. Month before Israel launched an offensive against Hamas, militant group that runs Enclave. The nightmare in Gaza is more than a humanitarian crisis. This is a humanitarian crisis, UN Secretary-General António Guterres told reporters in New York, adding that the need for a ceasefire was becoming more urgent with each passing hour. The parties the conflict, indeed the international community, face an urgent and fundamental responsibility to stop this inhumane collective suffering, significantly expand humanitarian assistance Gaza, he said. His comments came 4 weeks after Israel declared war on Hamas, following the Islamist militant group's brutal offensive in Israel on October 7 that killed 1,400 people and saw around 240 kidnapped. Israel retaliated by launching an air and ground attack on Gaza, vowing to eliminate the militant group. From the beginning, global aid organizations and rights groups warned that such an attack would be catastrophic for Gaza, which has been cut off from most of the world for nearly 17 years. A blockade imposed by Israel-Egypt meant severe restrictions on the movement of goods and people, contributing to severe poverty, hunger, dependence on international aid. The devastation of Israel's offensive on Gaza is now evident, with more than 10,000 people killed since war began. The Hamas-controlled health ministry in Enclave said on Monday. This includes more than 4,100 children and 2,600 women. The ministry said, it's unclear how many fighters were involved in total, which CNN cannot independently confirm. Nearly 1.5 million Gaza residents, more than 70% of population, are now displaced, many living in crowded UN shelters. Tamara Alrifai, a spokeswoman for the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in Near East, said on Monday, many evacuated their homes in the north after being warned by Israel to leave immediately. Others were left homeless by relentless airstrikes that leveled buildings in the Gaza Strip. A separate statement from UNRWA described conditions in its shelters as inhumane, due to a lack of clean water and sanitation. UNRWA said at least 600 people shared a toilet at the Khan Younis Training Center, where 22,000 people have taken shelter. He added that thousands of skin infections, diarrhoea, chickenpox and other diseases have been detected, spread by people living in uncomfortably close quarters. UNRWA said the decomposition of bodies trapped under collapsed buildings also poses a health risk to survivors. Emily Callahan, an American nurse who managed to leave Gaza last week, described seeing horrific injuries at the Khan Younis Center and other shelters. Their kids with just major burns on faces, on their necks, all over limbs. And they were being discharged right away because the hospital's so overwhelmed, he said. They are given what